شغلة شو المشكلة؟ What are these greenish flaky things in the coffee I just bought? يا سيدي هذا هيل. هيل like cardamom. طب شو ماله؟ مفيد وزاكي. I didn't ask for this. If he had told me he's putting it on in there and it said hell no. ما أبي أفهم. أصلاً ليش خليته يحطه إذا بدك شيء إياه؟ I don't know. I told him I wanted خشن coffee أمريكي, right? American, you know, coarser blend. I didn't want really, really finely ground like Turkish coffee. And look, I didn't want Arabic or Saudi coffee or Turkish coffee. I wanted American, and I'm free to have what I want. طيب يا سيد حر، اسمع الهيل خلص اختلط مع القهوة، بس إذا بدك إذا بسعدك خبطه وبطلع لك القشر. تفضل. Well, what do you know? You're right. Thing is that I was listening to these two people talking about they wanted to go back to the U.S., you know, and they're going back soon, and they were excited, but they were also fearful about going back to a country with a bungled pandemic response and all the social, racial, and economic tensions. You know, it's weird because I remember not that long ago when, you know, whenever I would come here, people would corner me to talk about how they can go to the US, how I can help them, if there's something I can do for them. And honestly, I just kind of found it odd. To be honest, man, you know, as much as I agree with him, I mean, I'd be excited to go back. There's just too many problems over there, you know. يا سيدي والله بخوف إنه بس إنه ما في فكرة عن الصحة، إنه بس ضد التفكير الصحي، كمان هم ضد كل واحد مش زيهم، ضد السود، المكسيكان، المسلمين، العنصرية هناك رهيبة. Well, look, I mean, it's not fair. Yeah, the U.S. is now having issues, you know, with the pandemic response, and they are having protests because of, you know, racial situation over there. But I mean, we have deep-seated prejudices here. Yeah, I mean, look, just beginning of this year, I was in a taxi, and this guy like went off on a rant because this woman driver was in front of her and she was going really slowly, and when he passed her by he saw she was Asian and he's like, well, and he gave me a smirk. Well, come on. Like, I just did not really want to open up that conversation. I don't know what deep-seated, you know, prejudices he's got. Is it just about women drivers? Is it women in general? Is it about Chinese? You know, the pandemic was looming. Is it because of that? No صحيح. No صحيح. Well, look, I mean, for me, like, I'd be more focusing about, you know, their government, what they do, how they, you know, censor their people, how they're, you know, brutalizing their Muslim population, the Uyghurs, you know, the spying, you know, allegations. All that stuff is a lot more important to speak to, I think. And by the way, it smells quite strongly still. Must admit, doesn't smell too bad. Pretty nice. Yeah, I mean, look, honestly, when you look at that, it's like the U.S., I mean, at least there's a conversation being made. You know what I mean? People are standing up. Look at like the response to the annexation of Palestinian lands by the Israeli Authority. Yeah, it's a marked response and fairly strong here in Jordan and in the Arab countries. You know, it's coming together that support that kind of awareness in the Islamic countries. But in the U.S., you know, there's junior politicians speaking out. There's people in North America who are speaking out about this. They're getting more educated, and it's not like everybody's going to be, you know, these misinformed, and even when they hear everything that there needs to be heard about that, turn a deaf ear to it, because it doesn't affect them and their identities. Of course, there are those who will take the stuff they like from a culture, from a people, and they'll demonize the stuff that they don't like, the stuff that sticks out. ممكن الناس اللي زيي يكون المشكلة. Could people like me be the problem?